My father is actually a software teacher in a private school near here, Christian School of the Desert.
Yeah.
Probably about 10 years, and so he initiated a lot of my interest in software.
Very cool.
Very cool.
So it's N-U-R-I?
N-U-R-I.
And last name?
Hodgson. H-O-D-G-E-N.
How about your title or position?
Senior engineer here.
Okay. You're senior and you're only 22?
Yep.
Did you go to Desert Christian?
Yeah, it was Desert Christian.
We were looking at that for our daughter. We're so kind of excited. She'll be kindergarten.
It's a pretty good
We've heard great things about it. It's just, a matter of budget.
Yeah, definitely. It was quite pricey there, yeah. It was easier for me to attend because my dad taught there, so he
For
got
sure.
a discount, yeah.
Good for you guys. And for someone that's teaching really like the way it should be. For sure. You all said, but, okay. Generally speaking, do me a favor, point out Mike, you can base it down, but just kind of angle it toward your mouth. There you go. Generally speaking, with regard to Facebook, is it a relatively safe place, or is it a potentially dangerous place? In general, talk about that off the top of your head.
It is a potentially dangerous place if you aren't taking the proper precautions to protect yourself and your data. So I guess you could consider it possibly dangerous, but as long as you're cautious, you'll be all right.
In general, and I guess simply, what are the proper steps to be taken?
Well, you would want to enable things such as private browsing on your Facebook account, which can be accessed from your account settings page, and that's simply a checkbox, and that allows you to browse Facebook without fear of someone snooping in on your data while they're on the same network as you. That's one of the biggest security improvements that actually Facebook has implemented over the last 2 years that has been a major concern in the security industry.
How is that this private browsing? What's so great about that, and why is it important that people use it?
Well, about 5 months ago, there used to be an application that anybody could download and get on the same wireless network as you and take your credentials that you were browsing Facebook with and just log in as you and start posting comments and photos to your friends and on your wall without your knowledge, without ever needing to know your password. But enabling this gets rid of that possibility.
Okay. Okay, but this application is still out there. People are still using it.
Yeah, because the default setting on Facebook is not to use this private browsing. Yes, by default you are prone to this attack.
So you're saying that people should just do private browsing anyway, automatically, and without question they should do that?
Definitely, most definitely. That should be definitely your first precaution to take when you sign up for a Facebook account.
Is that perhaps so? Is that the most important and best thing that someone can do to protect their Facebook experience?
That would definitely be one of the top things. Other than that, I would say avoid clicking on applications and things shared that look mischievous, that are trying to offer you things for free for clicking and sharing their application. Usually those lead to your account being infested and spamming your friends. So those would probably be the top 2 things I would say.
Okay. So just enable private browsing and don't click on things that look suspicious.
Yes.
Okay. If you could, what can people look for? How can someone determine whether or not something is suspicious?
Well, usually the only companies that are offering things for free on Facebook are usually pretty big companies that have products in the marketplace. So usually anything offering like free downloads of ringtones or MP3s and things like that are usually linking you to something malicious, and you're not going to get what you were originally intending to click on. But it will install an application on your Facebook that will do other things than the original intent.
Okay, how big a problem is that?
That's quite widespread. It's kind of what was starting to happen to MySpace back in its heyday, where people would get spammed by spam bots that got infested on their MySpace accounts, and the same kind of thing is happening now in the Facebook app marketplace.
So as a general rule, how can people, what's the general rule for this type of thing then? Clicking on these bad things, what's the general rule for people to keep in mind?
Usually, before you want to install an application, I would take the name of the application and Google for it, and it will usually give you a good idea if that's a safe thing to install or not. Because user reviews will pop up for safe things, or other negative reviews will pop up for unsafe things.
Okay. But with regard to like clicking on, not necessarily even an app, but like a link or an advertisement or anything that they could click on that would be bad, what's the general rule?
What exactly do you mean? Like,
I'm not sure what I mean.
If you're speaking about just how an ad looks, usually if it has, I usually look for grammar errors usually, because most of the people that are trying to be malicious are just trying to put a million different bad things out to get as many people that they can get. So usually there will be slight spelling errors or slight grammatical errors in descriptive text, and usually that's a big notifier that something's kind of fishy there. So I definitely look for that, and then really cheesy reproduced graphics that don't look like a company spent the time to make that for a user. Are things to look out for.
What about, when somebody's on Facebook and they see something that's from someone who they really know as a friend, but there's something about it that doesn't look like it's quite right, or my friend wouldn't send something like this.
In that case, it's very easy. Usually anytime someone shares something with you on Facebook.
What's that?
Usually anytime someone shares something with you on Facebook, you can message them directly beneath what they sent you. So you can just send a quick message back to them and see if they actually sent that to you and if they use that application.
Sorry, that's the boss call. And not the one at work. Honey, I'll call you right back. The other boss. Okay, you still won't tell me. So make that point for me again. So let's say I'm on my homepage or whatever, and I see something from a friend that I know and trust and all this, and there's something about it that seems kind of funky or weird. What's the solution there?
What you can do is when someone sends you something that you might not be sure if it's going to be good for you to click on that link or not, you can send a message right back to that person right underneath what they shared to you, and just confirm with them that they actually sent that to you and that they used that application. And that way, if they didn't send that to you, in that process, you're notifying them that something's wrong with their Facebook account, too.
Okay, I think that's the $1 million quote we're looking for right there. Any other thoughts with regard to anything that we've talked about? Any other security issues? Any other do's and don'ts for people in general?
Stay conscious. Be careful of what you click on. And be conscious that what you put on Facebook can be seen by other people. And most likely will be seen by other people that you don't intend to see. Just because of the nature of its public space.
Closer to so. That's okay. I'll just put that way. Okay. I'll just. Okay. Cool. Good job. See how easy that was?
Yeah.